Hello and welcome to Plus TV Africa. I'm Lakwe Banjo with the news on the hour. President Muhammadu Buhari, while in Jos, Plateau State, over the recent killings in different parts of the state, said the federal government is determined to bring an end to all of the violence in the state. The president was received in Jos and went straight into a private session with relevant community heads and top government officials. Reports say a representative of the Birom tribe during the meeting said the gunmen could be non-nationals living with indigenous herdsmen who have lived peacefully in the communities for decades. Simon Lalong, the Plateau State governor, urged the president to approve emergency funds to help rebuild the affected communities. Both the president and his vice, when he visited Jos, were unable to visit any of the affected communities or victims of the violence. The president has since returned to Abuja. 2 soldiers attached to the Operation Wellstroke were killed yesterday in an ambush by gunmen in Benue State, which left 1 other injured. Both soldiers were part of a team on transit to Guma local government area of Benue State in response to information that herdsmen had dug trenches around the Bakin Quarter link bridge to Nasarawa State, where they were hit by a rainstorm of bullets. Anthony Shawon, chairman of the Guma Local Government Council, has confirmed the incident to newsmen and says houses in the affected area have been razed and there is tension over imminent attacks. The federal government has announced that it will release 10 billion naira towards the rehabilitation and relocation of farmers who have been displaced from their ancestral homes in Plateau State. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who made the announcement after a closed-door meeting with warring communities in Jos, also said NEMA has been instructed to ensure that relief materials are provided wherever they are needed. The Vice President assured that the justice will be done for the many victims of the clashes. A day after the indigenous people of Biafra threatened a day of rage against the federal government if Senator Eyinaya Abaribe was not released by 6 p.m. on June the 25th, he regained his freedom. A statement from Uche Awom, media aide of Senator Abaribe, confirmed that the lawmaker who had been denied bail was finally granted bail. The statement was posted on Facebook by Awom, said Abaribe, who represents Abia South Senatorial District, walked to freedom yesterday evening after 5 days in the DSS detention. Abaribe, who was granted administrative bail, was released to his lawyers led by Chukwuma Machuku Ume, SAN. He allegedly got home in time to watch the Nigeria-Argentina World Cup cracker, surrounded by family and friends. Speaking at the premises of the DSS facility in Abuja, Machuku Ime thanked Nigerians and added that the collective calls and demand for his release have shown the great spirit of Nigerians for justice. Professor Ishak Oloyede, the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, has revealed that 414,696 of 1.6 million candidates, being 25% of those who sat for the 2018 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exam, have scored above 200 marks. The scores imply a reduction in the pass rate when he compared it with the 2017 results, which had 27% of candidates scoring above 200 marks. Speaking yesterday at a policy meeting in Gbongbo, Osun State, Professor Oloyede said that while 956,937 scored 170 marks and upwards, 739,490 scored 180 marks and above, and 558,673 candidates scored 190 marks upwards. He further stated that candidates are to accept or reject their admission before the process is completed, and aggrieved candidates can protest their admission status. Governor of Nasarawa State, Umaru Tanko Al-Makura, has declared his intention to contest in the 2019 general elections for the seat of Nasarawa South Senatorial Zone. He stated that he will be contesting on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, as he swore in the newly elected executives of the party at the APC State Secretariat in Lafia on Tuesday. Al-Makura stated that he had been under pressure from both party men and people from his senatorial zone, and following much consideration, he accepted to contest. He debunked any rift between himself and Senator Abdullahi Adamu and insisted that he had no anointed candidate, neither would he sponsor any candidate to succeed him in the next election. The governor told party members to not cower in fear over insinuations that his party will lose in the 2019 elections, stating that the PDP was in a comatose state and will fail to exist in the state by 2019. He also said that the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, which was a one-man show, proved no threat whatsoever. A flood from heavy rainfall last night in the Akoko Northeast local government area of Ondo State has destroyed property worth millions of naira and caused streets, vehicles and schools to be temporarily abandoned. According to residents, the blockage of drainage channels in the town is responsible for the development, which has left major roads impassable. The state's Information Commissioner, Yemi Olowolabi, has stated that the government is taking the necessary steps on the issue, even as it has begun the rehabilitation of the roads in the 18 local government areas of the state. Policemen in Lagos have demolished a shrine allegedly owned by members of the Oodua People's Congress on the suspicion that it was being used as a torture site for victims of an alternate justice system. Commissioner of Police Imohimi Edgal stated that the items found at the shrine located under the Okwebi Link Bridge included mobile telephones, ATM cards and 3 POS machines allegedly used to extort the victims who were usually forced into making confessions while being tortured. According to him, 3 persons were arrested after operatives swung into action on receiving intelligence reports suggesting the torture of a victim who was eventually rescued. Investigations are ongoing as the matter will soon be charged to court. On the foreign scene, a Sudanese court has commuted the death sentence of 19-year-old Noura Hussein, who killed her husband after accusing him of rape, to 5 years in jail. Her lawyer told journalists that the court also ordered the girl's family to pay 337,000 Sudanese pounds in blood money to the man's family. Hussein, in a recent interview, told how her family forced her to marry at 15, and when she refused to have sex with him on their honeymoon, he raped her while members of his family held her down. She stabbed him the next day when he tried to rape her again. The legal age to enter into marriage in Sudan is 10, and marital rape is not a crime. Noura Hussein's case has put a spotlight on forced child marriage and marital rape in the African country. Donald Trump's travel ban, which according to some critics targets people from several Muslim-majority countries, has been upheld by the US Supreme Court. Chief Justice John Roberts, in his ruling, said the travel ban was squarely within the scope of presidential authority. Shortly after the Supreme Court released its decision, President Donald Trump shared the news from his Twitter account. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, effectively nullifies the lower court's earlier judgment that the ban was unconstitutional. The ban prohibits most people from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen from entering the US. Chile has set a target of December 2018 for the eviction of 2,000 illegal immigrants from its shores. President Sebastián Piñera's right-wing government announced that the move was part of a new immigration plan to deal with growing migrant concerns. According to the country's interior ministry, foreigners with criminal records are at the top of the list, followed by those in prisons once they serve out their sentences. A third group includes migrants who do not complete the regularization process that was instituted by the government in April. Chile, in the last 4 years, has become one of Latin America's top destinations for migrants. And in business, the Comptroller General of Customs Strike Force has impounded 5 trailers loaded with foreign parboiled rice with a duty-paid value of 42 million naira in Ogun State. The 3,050-kilogram bags of rice were hidden in containers and trucks belonging to unnamed corporate organizations. This is coming a few days after the federal government announced plans to shut the land borders due to the massive smuggling of rice into the country. According to zonal leader of the Strike Force Zone A, Assistant Comptroller Salisu Asababula, the trucks were tracked to Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State, and 2 suspects were arrested. He further attributed the feats to the supports given to the strike force by the Federal Executive Council through the provisions of vehicles for operations. In a related development, the Nigerian Customs Service has said it will use technology, which includes the deployment of drones, as a means to combat the smuggling of rice and other banned items into the country. Alhaji Aminu Dangaladima, Deputy Comptroller General in charge of investigation, said this while launching 30 patrol vans at the customs headquarters in Abuja yesterday. The 30 new vans brought the total to 50 within the space of 2 weeks, and the first 20 vans were launched on June the 11th. He added that they are working on a partnership with the Nigerian Air Force as regards aerial anti-smuggling monitoring. Alhaji Dangladima also urged communities by the border to cooperate with the NTS to provide intelligence that will enable the organisation to fight the smuggling issue. Abraj Holdings, a Dubai-based investment firm which operates in Asia, Latin America, Africa, Middle East and Turkey, has filed for bankruptcy. But Nigeria's Custodian Investment PLC has announced that it was not affected by Abraj Holdings' statement. The Dubai-based firm, which managed Oreos Africa Fund, held minority shares of Custodian Investment PLC. According to a statement by Abraj Holdings, the court had supervised its restructuring and had minimum impact on the day-to-day operations of the management funds and their portfolio companies. This comes after a court had appointed executives from Deloitte and PwC as joint liquidators of Abraj Holdings on June 18, 2018. Mr. Wale Oshin of Custodian Investment PLC further clarified that Abraj are managers and not shareholders. He further said the investment PLC stock market has remained steady. Tokumbo is up next with the entertainment news.
And in entertainment, Taylor Swift came face-to-face with UK singer Adele and Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling backstage at her own concert at Wembley Stadium and was starstruck. She shared a Polaroid selfie as she had taken with Adele and J.K. Rowling as she gushed over them, revealing she's one of their fans. Taylor had brought out One Direction's Horan for a surprise duet the previous night. After the show, Taylor thanked her fans, showing her excitement about being in London and showing gratitude to the thousands that came out to support her. Even though they could have been anywhere else, they chose to support her Reputation World Tour, which she embarked on in Arizona on the 8th of May. Bee Gees legend Sir Barry has received his gong as a Knight Bachelor from Prince Charles at an investiture service at Buckingham Palace, honoured for his services to music and charity. He was born and raised in Manchester, and the singer-songwriter's brother moved to Australia for a brief period in the 1960s, living in Queensland before moving back to the UK and eventually settling in the United States. The Bee Gees remain one of the most successful bands in the world, with more than 220 million albums sold. While receiving the news of his knightship, Sir Barry dedicated the honour to his late brothers, saying he was deeply honoured, humbled and very proud. The youngest brother and pop star Andy died from a heart condition in 1988 at the age of 30. The words of appreciation from Sir Barry upon receiving the knightship on Tuesday were, "This moment will forever be treasured." Actor and writer Alexander Wraith has filed for divorce from his wife Lily Goldrake. Wraith, who is the father of Francesca Eastwood's baby, has cited clashing differences as the reason for his split from his wife of 8 years. According to reports, the court papers revealed that the actor and his wife have been separated for almost 3 years. They say there are no hard feelings between them and everybody is happy and moving on. Wraith and Goldrake got married in July 2010 and have a 7-year-old son together. Francesca Eastwood disclosed that she was expecting the writer's child. And that's it on entertainment. Up next is Udoka with the sports news.
Welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku. Chelsea are looking to the Serie A for the first signing of the impending Maurizio Sarri era at Stamford Bridge, with reports suggesting that they have tabled an official offer to Juve for the services of Daniel Rugani. And it has been reported that the Blues have submitted about £35 million for the 23-year-old centre-back, previously linked with Arsenal, and are readying a double-your-money 5-year contract proposal worth in the region of £60,000 per week, having discussed the prospect of his arrival during talks with Sarri's representatives Fali Ramadani. And Rugani has won 3 successive Serie A titles with Juve since 2015, but only made 26 appearances across all competitions last term. And Naby Keita arrived Liverpool on Friday night as he finally gets set to join up with his new teammates after his £53 million move from Leipzig. And the Reds broke their transfer record last August since bettered by the £75 million acquisition of Virgil van Dijk to bring this midfielder to Anfield this summer. And after an extra season in the Bundesliga, the Guinea international will join up with Jurgen Klopp at the start of the preseason next month. And he could make his first appearance in a red shirt as soon as July the 7th when Liverpool faced Chester in a friendly game. And Naby Keita will be joined by fellow new signing Fabinho, whose £44 million arrival from Monaco was rubber-stamped within 48 hours of Liverpool's defeat by Real Madrid in Kiev. And going over to the tennis now, 7-time Wimbledon champion Serena Williams is the 25th seed for this year's tournament, despite being outside the top 32 in the rankings. And the 36-year-old American is continuing her return to action after giving birth to her first child in September. And Serena Williams, a 23 Grand Slam singles winner, has played only 3 tournaments in the past 12 months and is ranked 183rd in the world. And Slovakia's world number 32, Dominika Cibulková, has not been seeded. And on Tuesday, Cibulková said it would not be fair for Williams to be seeded ahead of her. She also said she doesn't think it's the right thing to do. And she also says that she has tried and she should be seeded. And if they put her in front of Cibulková, then she knows that she'll be losing her spot and she's supposed to have that spot. And for Simona Halep, she is the top seed with Roger Federer, her counterpart, in the men's draw. And for Federer, he's seeded a place higher than his world ranking with world number 1, Rafael Nadal, the 2nd seed. And with the exception of Williams, all the other women are seeded in line with their WTA ranking. Williams is seeded 1 place lower than Maria Sharapova, who she was due to meet in the 4th round of the French Open before pulling out because of an injury. And her sister Venus Williams is the 9th seed. And British number 1, Johanna Konta, and Kyle Edmund, the world number 18, are seeded 22nd in their respective draws because of different rules in the 2 draws. And Andy Murray cannot be seeded because he sits outside the top 32 in the rankings. And Britain's 3-time Grand Slam champion is returning from a hip injury, talking about Andy Murray. And that's it on Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko. Back to you, Lakwe Banjo.
Thanks, Udoka. And that's the news at this hour. I'm Lakwe Banjo. Do have a great day.